The new chapter of Boruto revealed that Kawaki is not actually weak, and it's all Amado's fault. Just as I mentioned in one of my videos, Gaara is now sealed, just like Naruto, and Shinki's clone wants to absorb his adoptive father. Meanwhile, Boruto and Kawaki have decided to make peace. Let's discuss all of this. Enjoy watching. The beginning of the chapter showed how Shinki was caught by one of the 10 Tails fragments. This happened because of a clash with Matsuri, who injured Gaara. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see her abilities, but judging by how she controlled her clothing or whatever we might call it, it's possible she uses it like Tails. The Kazekage was protecting his team, covering them with sand. However, Shinki wanted to save Gaara since he was almost bitten, so the Kazekage's adoptive son used a sealing technique, which made him vulnerable to an attack, turning him into a tree, while the wounded Gaara was sealed. Even after Shinki became a tree, the seal on the Kazekage didn't break. Now it's interesting how long Gaara will remain in this seal. Will his wound worsen? According to Matsuri, the girl who attacked him, Gaara was nearly at death's door. Now we understand how Ikemoto is writing the old characters out of the plot, either turning them into tree people or sealing them. Naruto and Gaara are sealed. Sasuke is in a tree. So, we wait for Sakura or someone else from Naruto's generation to become a tree person. After the flashback, we return to the 10 Tails hideout, where we see Shinki's clone using iron sand, made from his clothes, which is essentially one of Code's scratch techniques. He uses this power to pull Code out of the metal cube where the tree people are created since Code had been spying on everyone. But none of those present see Code as a problem. Jura, the embodiment of the 10 Tails, even calls him their benefactor, as the evolution of the divine tree happened thanks to him. At the same time, Code behaves irrationally, trying to speak arrogantly to those stronger than him, and then the conversation turns to the divine fruit. Jura is curious about what would happen if he and the others ate the fruit themselves. One word leads to another, and Code decides to show who's the boss. But he instantly loses his arm to Jura, who didn't even take his hands out of his pockets. Here, the authors once again show us the character's insignificance. However, this is done intentionally. Ikemoto confirms this with Code's words that he'll be the last one laughing. So, the humiliation we're seeing now is deliberately leading to a turning point that will happen later. But the fact remains, Code lost his arm but managed to strike a deal with Jura, where the embodiment of the 10 Tails will give him the chakra fruit if Code kills Boruto and his companion. I'm curious how they will continue to develop this character, considering he should have been killed a long time ago and wasn't part of the original plot. Meanwhile, Boruto met with Kawaki on the Hokage Faces Mountain. The main character notes that Kawaki needs to get stronger since he's Naruto's student. Kawaki should have unsealed the Hokage and spent these 3 years training with him, but that's impossible now. Boruto also points out why Kawaki is weak, and it's all Amado's fault, who blocked his power in favor of regeneration. As I mentioned in the video, Why Kawaki is Weak, Amado wants to use Ishiki's karma to transfer his daughter Akiba's karma to Delta, and Kawaki is supposed to pass it to her. But for him to do that, Amado needs leverage over him. He doesn't want Kawaki to die too soon, so the scientist blocked his true power in favor of protection. That's why Kawaki is so weak. We were also told an interesting detail about Momoshiki. Over these 3 years, Boruto used karma only once, when Code attacked him and Uchiha. But as soon as the power was used, Uzumaki felt as if the Otsutsuki was taking control of him, and since then, he hasn't used this power, and Momoshiki hasn't manifested in any way. Also, Boruto said a very dramatic phrase that I liked. He said he's become so strong that he no longer worries whether shinobi will want to capture him, so he doesn't care if they hunt him or not. The only problem is the tree people. That's why he wants to team up with Kawaki and stick to their original brotherly agreement. If Momo takes control of him, Kawaki must kill Boruto again, and this time for good, but only after Jura and all the tree people are destroyed. I really liked the chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one, and I'll try to make a couple more videos breaking down what happened. I also want to let you know that my manga about Itachi has finally been released to the public. The link to it will be in the description and pinned comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'll make a separate video on it later. See you in the comments. Good luck to everyone.